afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody Bills, this is Logan Burgess. Today is February 3rd, 2 days before Super Bowl Sunday. When the markets closed, corn finished up 3.5 on the week, closing at 643 1/4. Soybeans up 18 3/4, closing at 1232. Chai wheat up 13 3/4, closing at 660 1/2. Kansas City wheat up 14, closing at 713. We had some news from Informa. We had some news from Russia. Logan, can you break down Informa news? Did that put any bids into the market?
You know, it looks like it did for soybeans. Not really the same story, though, for corn. Take a look at the figures we saw come out this morning. The big story here was the Argentinian production lowered 1.5 million metric tons here from their January report. Another little interesting side note was that the production out of the Ukraine was actually raised by 3.5 million metric tons. You know, it really didn't look like it was moving the trade around that much today in Chicago. What's kind of your take on that?
I would say, yeah, you look at these two numbers and you got to remember they're two totally different years, two growing years. Argentina is this year's growing period, and they're talking about Ukraine's 2012-2013. So, yeah, you raise that by 3.5 million tons, but people aren't really caring because they're dealing with wheat issues right now, and let alone the overall. I mean, they haven't even thought about what they're going to be planting. So, you know, I look at that and I say two totally different numbers. The market doesn't care. The other thing is Argentina's corn numbers. They came in right about where the Bolsa de Cereales exchange was anticipating. So, you know, I don't think there was too much of a surprise here for the corn.
Yeah, certainly. You know, and it seemed like that's kind of how it played out in the trade today. Soybeans, a little bit of a different story. Take a look here at the figures we saw come out from Informa. They actually lowered the production out of Argentina by 4.5 million metric tons from their January report. Kind of the same story with Brazil. They lowered the Brazilian expected production 2 million metric tons. You know, kind of a different story out of these two figures as well. You know, out of Argentina, that figure was pretty much pegged by the Buenos Aires Grain Exchange. 46.2 million metric tons, I believe, was the figure they came out with as of late. Brazil, though, kind of a different story. Back on January 31st, we saw Oil World come out and pretty much peg production around 70 million metric tons, and this was kind of confirmation of this. That figure is lower than what we're seeing out of Brazil from the state agency. So it seemed like that brought in some bids here in the trade today.
Yeah, I know. If you look at the chart, which you'll probably take us through later, you see a lot of buying right as this report goes out. But one question, you know, if this is where we stand right now, what's the weather look like going forward?
Yeah, we'll take a look here at maps provided by our friends over at Planalytics. You can see that Saturday into Sunday, kind of the same story that we've been seeing as of late. Scattered showers throughout the area. That should certainly help things. Kind of Sunday into Monday, same story. Maybe some areas of heavier rain into that corn area of Argentina. You know, we've been reading, you know, that is that crop too far gone is a question that some people have been asking. But certainly it'll help out the crop that still does have a chance there.
Yeah, and you know, when you talk about the crop that's going to get helped, we're talking about soybeans. Corn, you know, they plant corn. You know, it's not necessarily all in the ground at one point. I mean, they were talking about 20% that was unplanted back when they were going through this extreme drought. So, you know, overall, I think corn will benefit from this, but soybeans is the major benefactor here.
Yeah, certainly. You know, kind of Sunday into Monday, going to be the same kind of story. We'll certainly keep you posted on the South American weather situation here on GrainTV. Cody, let's take a quick look at the Fire Tip platform. If you're a producer out there, you're interested in live quotes, you're interested in charting, give us a call today. We'll set you up with a demo. You can see that kind of a quiet trade day in Chicago. Soybeans were up 16 cents at the close just today. If you want to switch that over quick, we'll take a look at a 5-minute soybean chart. Just like you were talking about earlier here, you can really see when this Informa announcement came out, hit the market, added about 10 cents into the market. You know, not huge, but we did hold those gains through the end of the trade day today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one thing that we should look at also, Informa did come out with the numbers that did drive soybeans, but we look at wheat and we think, you know, here's a commodity that's been the relative strength all week long, and they closed, you know, today we're down 2 in Chicago, down 4 in Kansas City. You know, why is that? Well, you know, I talked a little bit about this on Thursday that Viktor Zubkov, Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, was going to have a meeting, and you know, the market seemed to think that they were going to announce some kind of tariff or some kind of, you know, export curbing mechanism, and you know, they didn't do that. They actually came out and raised their production, what they thought they had for production of 2011-2012 wheat. They raised their the wheat available for exports by 12%, and they said that they had no reason to put these kind of tariffs onto the wheat exports. So the bottom line is the market was looking for something bullish, they got something bearish. I think the only thing that propped up this wheat market is the fact that we have such cold weather going through the eastern part of Europe and into the Baltic Sea region. So, and the Black Sea region. So I think it's the weather right now that's propping it up, but it certainly wasn't any kind of announcements from Russia.
Yeah, certainly, we saw it last summer. The news out of Russia on the export front really was a big part of that rally that we saw in the wheat market. We'll keep you posted on that here on Grain TV. I think that wraps up our show here for Friday afternoon. Everyone have a good, safe Super Bowl weekend. We'll see you back here next Tuesday.
Have a good one.